Welcome. In this video, we're going to do an unboxing of the Blue Team expansion for Marvel United X-Men. So down at the table, looking at our Blue Team expansion, and on the back, X-Men Blue Team is an expansion for Marvel United that not only adds 5 new iconic heroes, a sinister villain, and new locations, but introduces the new team versus team mode, which completely changes the game. Divided into 2 teams, up to 6 players compete to see who can complete the missions and deal the most damage to the villain, who can even be controlled by a 7th player in super villain mode, so may the best team win. So let's go ahead and take a look inside. So right on top, we have our rule sheet going over our components. And just the big things to notice, we've got an initiative token, stun tokens for the villain, and plastic bases to separate our team. So you don't have to use these for the team mode, but this will allow you to separate your blue team from your gold team. So for doing the team mode, there are some changes in the setup. Most notably is we're not using the typical mission cards. They're going to be swapped out, and each team's going to get their own set. So basically, it's just dividing the thugs, civilians, and the threats to get completed. Winning and losing, we're going to lose the same way. Winning is the team that has done the most damage to the villain is going to be the winner. Hero turns, basically we're going to have 2 team storylines. So the villain's going to take their turn. Then the team with initiative, their 3 players will take a turn. Then the other team, then the villain will go, switch initiative, and go forward. The missions are going to do the same thing. So after the first mission is completed, then the villain's going to activate after every 2 hero turns for each team. And then after the second's defeated, then that team can deal damage to the villain. And the same for the third. That allows everyone on that team to draw a card. And some special rules: you can attack your opposing heroes. Once you do damage to them, they'll discard a card. However, you cannot KO them. So if you would deal damage to make them discard their last card, they just won't discard their last card. They'll keep that. So you can't you can't kill the opponents. There is an overkill ability. So on the killing blow to the villain, let's say I only had 1 health left. If one of your heroes did 3 or 4 damage, that will count to see which team did the most damage. And then to make the game a little bit harder, and some special compatibility rules depending super villain mode and different villains. So we've got some new tokens here and some DNA samples. So this is for blue team and gold team unlocking their missions. And the initiative tracker, if it's yellow or blue going. Then our new locations. We've got Excalibur Lighthouse. So end of the turn, you may discard a card from your hand to the bottom of your deck, or discard an action token to look at the top card of the Master Plan deck. You may then put that on the bottom. And we've got Savage Land. End of turn, you may discard a card from your hand to the bottom of your deck to gain a token of your choice of these 2. Madripoor. End of turn, draw a card if possible. Then you must discard a card from your hand to the bottom of your deck. And then the Mojoverse. End of turn. If you perform 3 or more heroic or fight here this turn, you may gain a wild token. If you did not, you must discard a card from your hand to the bottom of your deck. Then for a villain, we have Mr. Sinister. Special setup. Distribute 12 DNA sample tokens equally among the heroes. And then it's got his health over here. Special rules. Heroes without DNA sample tokens treat all special effects on the cards as blank. Bam ability, move each hero 1 location closer to Mr. Sinister, then take a DNA sample from 1 hero in his location. For overflow, tokens can't be added to a location. Take a DNA sample from 1 hero there. The villainous plot, the heroes immediately lose if Mr. Sinister has collected 9 DNA sample tokens. And then we have our card for if you're playing in team mode, for which team unlocks their missions, and for damage on the villain to see which team has done the most damage to the villain on there. So then moving into our miniatures, we have Mr. Sinister to start with. So that's our villain. Nice cape. And we have Psylocke. And Jubilee. And then Gambit. And Rogue. And lastly, we have Banshee. And then we have tokens we can put on the bottom of our miniatures if you want, so you can separate your blue and your gold teams. And they are going to basically snap on the bottom of your characters. And you can take them off just by pressing in the center. Then we have our cards. So we've got our cards sorted out. So first we'll look at the new challenge. So Accelerated Villain Challenge. Villain turn takes place after every 2 hero turns from both teams. And then our goals for Yellow Team: clearing threats, rescuing civilians, and thugs. So 5 of each for the thugs and civilians, and 2 for the threats. And the same thing for the Blue Team, so they can progress through to put their damage on the villain. And starting with him, Mr. Sinister, his threat cards. He's got some manipulation going on, telepathy, and some morphing. And his base cards showing his movement, if he's going to do a BAM ability, and placement of thugs and civilians. So taking a quick look at those cards: Genius Geneticist and a Master Manipulator. And we can start with Rogue and her cards. So her abilities there. Into her wilds: power absorption and ability absorption. Then into Psylocke and her ability cards, and Sonic Blast and telepathy. And Jubilee with her cards, psionic shields, and explosive light blasts. And we have Gambit with his card tricks, a Master Thief, and molecular acceleration. And lastly, we have Banshee with his abilities, stunning waves, and sonic blasts. So that is everything for the Blue Team expansion for Marvel United. As always, hope you enjoyed this unboxing, so please click on the like button below and be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.